about understanding domineering parents. Understanding domineering parents. So, can we have Bolanle Oba join us this morning?
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning, Nigerians. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Good
I
morning.
appreciate
Good
this
morning. It's so
privilege.
good to have you.
Thank
Can
you,
you hear
ma'am.
me?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So, ma'am, how have you been? What's been happening to you? It's been a while.
I've been good. I've been doing one thing or the other, but I've been good. Thank you very much. How have you been too?
Okay, ma'am. So,
And
as
happy
we
new
go
month
into
of
today's
December
topic,
to you.
understanding domineering parents. To
Yes.
people who don't have the understanding, because someone was asking what parents are supposed to be domineering. Can you help us with the definition of domineering? Domineering as a parent. Can you help us with that definition?
Okay. When you say a parent is domineering, it just means is controlling, overbearing. When a parent is too controlling, there should be an altar of control, to a certain age. But when you are dominating every aspect of your child's life, it means you are domineering. It means you are controlling. It means you are overbearing, meaning you are doing it too much. It has gone beyond the normal. That's what it means to be domineering. You are dominating the life of your child. That is what it means to be an overbearing parent or a domineering parent, a controlling parent, where you are controlling virtually every area of their lives.
Okay. Now, the question I now want to ask is this. What are the common challenges when you say a parent is dominating, taking total possession? Because that's what I see. Dominate is when you take total authority and possession.
Yes.
You want this child to have his or her own, way of giving ideas, pushing out, whatever is deposited inside him or her. Like Remy Lawa will say, you turn a child to a robot. Now, I want to ask, what are the challenging situations that will make a parent be domineering? What are those situations, common things that will trigger it, that a parent will just find him or herself dominating everything that has to do with that child? And at what time of a child's life can a parent stop having total hold on a child?
Okay. Firstly, we need to understand that there are triggers to those actions. There are underlying triggers or factors that will make a parent to be controlling or domineering. Maybe the fear of tomorrow, the fear of the unknown, or childhood trauma of that parent. We need to understand where that parent is coming from. We don't know what that parent went through while he or she was growing up. So, which may trigger that attitude, which may trigger that controlling habit of that parent. And also, there are areas where a parent might tend to be domineering. They want to control the way you dress. They want to control the way you talk. They want to control the people you talk to, the people you associate with, right from your tender age. Even though we agree that there are some altar of control that a parent has or have over a child from when you give birth to that child, but at a certain age, even by the time your child is able to talk, you should limit, even from childhood, you should limit your domineering attitude on that child. At times when a child is a toddler, maybe from 1 year, let's start from when a child is a small boy, a small girl, I want to wear this. The parent will insist, you must wear this. You should allow your child to have a certain level of control right from the beginning. The moment a child can, know the right from the left, you don't have to wait till when that child is an adult. There are some decisions right from when the child is growing up, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that is not, that you should allow your child to take, because it shows that you are building up their confidence. But if you tend to control virtually everything that a child does, from dressing, from the food they eat, from the places they go, as they are growing up, from the courses, the subjects they choose, all those things, or you choose their friends for them. Those are some of the areas while they are growing up. Then when they are an adult, you want to choose their career for them. You want to choose, their romantic partner for them. You want to choose the area they live. There are some parents, they insist their child must be very close to them. They want to be controlling. But what I will say is this: you should understand where they are coming from. Some of them is out of maybe the trauma they went through when they were growing up. Some, they're just being overprotective. Some are just afraid, depending on where they're coming from. So the factors that may lead to a parent being domineering, they are really very different from one person to the other. So depending on what they went through while they are growing up. And some, they did not even go through anything. They just want to be in control. That is some of the things that may affect some of the, characteristics of a parent being domineering. You should allow your parent and your children or your child to decide, to take some decisions that are not life-threatening. There's a place of advice. When you give your child an advice, especially when they are an adult, and they tend to give you a superior reason or an alternative reason why yours will not work, please allow them. It means you are allowing your children to grow up. You may not be there for them forever. So being overprotective or being domineering is a very common thing. But at the same time, I believe there are factors, there are triggers that may make, a parent to be very domineering. Are you listening to me?
Let's go to the strategies parents can actually use to recognize
Okay.
or to manage their domineering tendencies. What are those strategies parents can use to manage or recognize those domineering tendencies? What do they have to do when they recognize it, or how to manage such situation?
Honestly, there are some parents, they don't even know they are domineering. That's the truth. It's one thing to know, it's another thing to want to find the solution to it. Some of them just feel, I'm being protected. I'm taking care more. I'm afraid of what will happen if you take these certain decisions on your own. So most importantly, some of them don't even know that they are domineering, or some of us don't know we are domineering or controlling. So what I will advise at this point is, when a child feels that my parent is domineering or is controlling, the best thing to do is to have a conversation with your parent. Have a conversation. Don't be confrontational. Have a conversation with your parents the way he or she is making you to feel each time he or she is trying to dominate or to control your decisions or your actions, because the parent may not even know. That's the major problem. And in case that parent is made aware, there should be an awareness. If he or she does not know, there should be an awareness, and it depends on that parent to accept. Because some of us, you will not even accept that you are being domineering. You will feel You are just doing your job as a parent. But there's a thin line between doing your job as a parent and being domineering. And a lot of parents don't even know. So, but the moment you are aware and you accept the fact that you are domineering, you are controlling, have a conversation, number one, with your child. Or if it's the child that is feeling being, being controlled by the parents, the most important thing is to have a conversation with each other. They should talk about it. Let that child inform or tell the parent the way he or she is making him to feel. And, and the child too, from that point, should begin to take steps or make decisions that will make the parent to be confident in him or her ability to be able to do things on his or her own. You understand? Because by the time the parent said, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know I've been domineering, I didn't know I've been controlling. Okay, just have a conversation with me on the steps you want to take. And by the time you are taking those steps and your parent discover that you are making progress, honestly, the attitude or the habit will reduce if that child as an adult is able to make wise decisions in the right direction. That attitude will stop. But most importantly, there must be an awareness on both parties. The child being able to say, Mom, Dad, you are being domineering or you are dominating. You are controlling me. I can take decisions on my own. And the parent must also accept, there are some that will not accept, they will turn it to another thing. But there must be an awareness. And at that point, if the parent still continues, in that attitude or habit, she needs to read, or he or she needs to read, or to, my other sister will tell me, don't say see a therapist, but that is the bottom line. If you know you will not be able to stop that habit on your own, or by having a conversation with your child, you will not be able to reduce it. There is a place of, oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing it, or you explain the reason why you are doing it to your child. I just feel I'm protecting you, or it's from a place of fear, or because of what I went through, I don't want you to go through the same thing. There must be a conversation. And at the same time, they should set boundaries. There should be some topics that, you should not be able to discuss with your child. As a parent, whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, you should pray for them the moment they
I
are
want to
adults,
agree
that
to
they should be
disagree
able
with
to
you
take.
on that aspect, but I will continue that
Okay.
particular angle where you said is it that the person sees a therapist or read. What about parents who cannot read?
Read.
We need to put them into consideration as well. And they
Yes,
are
I
very
agree.
stubborn. Their decision is their decision. They make up their mind. Even if their children have started having their own children, they are
They will
still
still be
domineering. We
controlling.
will continue that. But ma'am, it's time for us to
Okay.
go for
Okay.
our word on marble. And you heard it from our word on marble, said children should never be the victim of their parents' insecurity or need for control. Children should not be they should never be the victim of their parents' insecurity or need for control. Some parents in the area of dominating. And because, many children got it, wrong because they had parents who did not give them that opportunity or never wanted to hear them. They rather hear outsiders.
Yeah.
And thank God you're a mother, you're a grandmother. And that's why we needed you to discuss this topic more. For those parents who doesn't give a hoot about reading, they doing therapy. What concerns them? Where are you taking me? I tell you that I'm not Christian. It is that my decision that you have to take. It is what I have said that you have to do. Even to a child who is over 40. You understand? So
Yes, I
I want
do.
us to, be factual, be real
Yes.
about this,
Mm.
because it has taken many children out of away from their parents,
Yes.
and they become enemies. They have become enemies because when you have a parent, mother or father, who are not ready to listen to you, who are not ready to hear your own side of the story, but what they said is what they want. They don't know what is going through your mind, where you are
Yes.
sick, what is making you to behave the way they don't want to listen. How do we help these children? What should these children do? Some, they will say you are disobeying your parents. Actually, they are not disobeying.
Yeah, let me just-
They've gotten to that time when you have chased them to the wall and they have no other place to turn to. They will turn back. And this is family and values. So how do we bring the value in and not making the child to look like he or she's disrespecting the parents, and or the parents, using their past error? You need to have
Yeah.
control over their children,
Over
because
there.
some parents is because they need to have control. The same thing happens in the office now. At times you get to an
Yes.
office circle, office environment, and you see someone clamoring for respect, demanding for respect. It's because such persons do not have enough at home. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Because respect is not demanded for, it is earned. And so I need you to help us. As a mother, I need you to talk to parents. Because sometimes it's not about the children doing the wrong thing. So say, you are trying to control a grown adult, or you cannot train a grown adult, something like that. How can we walk this through?
Okay. Sorry, I'm not seeing you in the studio. I'm only seeing myself. Maybe they can work on that.
Come
Okay.
again?
I'm not seeing you in the studio. It's just blank.
Oh, you can't see me?
Yes, right from the beginning. I can't see you,
But you
but
could
I
hear
can
me,
hear you
right?
clearly. Yes, which is very important. Number one, I
Okay,
want to
let's go
talk
for
to the
this. So the question I'm putting out to her is that she understands it. What happens if you have a parent, a father, or a mother who is bent on, the need to have control? Because that's the way, that's the total definition of domineering parents. What the Bible says, children should never be the victim of their parents' insecurity or need for control. You are insecure because of your growing up, and how you grow up and all that. So can we have Pastor Mrs. Bolanle Oba? Can you see me now?
No, I can't, but it's okay. I can continue while they work on it.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
So, how do we help parents, that are domineering? Like I said before, there should be a place of awareness. How do they get to the understanding that they are controlling or they are domineering? Someone needs to tell them. And the best person to do that is the child. The child needs to tell them politely. But you said something that there are some stubborn parents. They don't want to listen to you. They don't want to hear you. Honestly, I really want to blame those parents, because if you've done a good job on your child at a certain age in life, your place is advisory. You are just there to advise them. They are not bound to take your advice. So we should limit the way you can suggest, you can advise, you know, you can chip in one word today, on some certain issues. And if they don't take it, please leave them, allow them to be. That was why I said, I know it's not every parent that is learned or educated and can go and carry a book or see a therapist. As your child is growing up, allow them to take decisions on their own. If you advise them and they refuse to take it, please leave them. Allow them to be. Our own role is to advise, and if they don't take it, we cannot force it on them. Then we should sit back and pray for them. Whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, please continue to pray for your children. That's number one. Then also, after awareness, and you refuse to listen to your child, then I will advise that the child be polite in maybe passing across the way you are feeling. And if they did not take it, just be quiet. Listen to them. But you cannot be forced. There is a saying that you can force an horse to the river. You cannot force the horse to drink water, isn't it? I will listen to you. If you want to control, you want to tell me what to do every time, as my mother or as my father, as my parents, I will listen to you. But I know the decision I'm going to take, and I know it's going to work out. So as a child, you should be confident in the steps you are taking, because at the end of the day, when you succeed in that thing that you are doing, you will be able to tell them, Shebi, I told you. But if as a child, your parents, they are like trying to dominate, control, they are telling you what to do, you don't want to do theirs, you want to go your own way. And at the end of the day, that particular thing they are telling you, even though they are like maybe trying to impose their own insecurities on you, their own past experiences, the trauma they went through, or some maybe because they read law, they are doctors, they are insisting that you must be a lawyer, you must be this. We've seen a lot of cases where parents will send their children to school to read a particular course, and the child will change it along the line. And if you succeed, they may be angry initially, but if you succeed at that thing that you chose to do, they will leave you. Honestly, that's the way I see it. You cannot control them forever, but I understand that there are some parents that are very stubborn. We've seen it. It's everywhere around us. They want to control everything you do, your dressing, the people you relate with, the person you get married to, everything. But if you know as a child that steps you are going to take, which is contrary to what your parents are telling you, is heading somewhere, please go ahead and do yours. But the most important thing, make sure you succeed at it. Then you will be able to go back and tell them, Mommy, Daddy, see what I told you. So gradually, if they are seeing that you are making steps in the right direction, you are taking right decisions, honestly, they will limit their control on that particular child. But if at the end of the day, you are not listening to them, and at the same time, you are not succeeding at anything, then what have you gained? Even though I'm not in support of a parent being controlling or domineering, but like I said, you need to understand where they're coming from. Somebody needs to talk to them, and they must listen to somebody. But in a situation where they refuse to listen, then that child, listen to them. Don't be confrontational. Don't fight with your parents.
Children are grown.
Don't fight with them.
And they can make their own decisions. Now,
yes, they need to understand. But if they refuse, you listen to them
at
politely, then do your own.
I've seen a situation whereby a mother said, if you are not going to do this, you get out of my life, I don't want to see you. And by the time the child left home, she became lonely. So lonely, she fell sick. You have to start begging the child to please come back. Everyone has their life to live.
Yes, I agree.
And at a point in time, as much as you love them, you want to be there, you want to cherish the moment you have with them. I don't know. I think there should be more that can be done. Either reports to the church authorities, because some of them will say they are going to church. Some will say they are going to the mosque. How do you set boundaries? or report them to family,
Well,
someone who is very close to them in the family. At what time? How do we set boundaries when you have this kind of domineering father or mother? And I think it works more
how do
on
you set
mother
boundaries?
because mother are
Then
the closest to
maybe
the
you will
children.
limit the
So
amount of
let's hear what you have
information.
to say, ma'am.
Okay. You know, how do you set boundaries, you know, between the child and a domineering parent? This is to the child. Maybe you limit the amount of information, that you feed them about you, about what is going on in your life. If you don't tell them virtually everything going on in your life, and that they have this tendency of dominating, of controlling, then you limit what you tell them. You limit the information you reel out to them. Maybe you limit some certain areas of your life. You don't, or you limit the communication, especially if you are not living, even if you are living together. You limit the information you feed or you allow them to know. And if you are not living together, if they are domineering and it's really affecting your mental health and everything, honestly, you limit the communication. You limit the physical contact. Maybe you see them 2 times in a month. You limit it to once. But if you are the type that is maybe giving them material things, financial, please don't stop. Don't stop. But you limit the conversation. You limit the time you spend with them. That is very important. And if they discover that you are reducing the time you are spending with them, you don't call them often the way you used to. Honestly, if that parent is sensitive, you should be able to call your child or send a message, what is happening? Then that will open the line of communication. But in a situation where the parent is not the sensitive type, you don't care whether your child calls you regularly or your child does not call you or you don't see it often, then maybe you report to somebody that he or she respects. It may be in the church, in the family setting, in your community, somebody that he or she can listen to. I think if we go that route, it will be a little bit better. Because if you are seeing her or seeing him often, and each time you leave his or her presence, you are drained, you just felt, why did I go to see him or her? Then I limit my communication. I limit my physical contact with that person. You understand? Then I limit the information I feed him or her with. You don't tell him everything about you, because there are some children too, they want to tell their parent virtually everything. Even as an adult, as married men and women, you want to tell your parents everything. You are giving them the room to interfere in whatever thing you are doing. So limit the information you pass across to your parents. For example, as a married man or married woman, you are having an issue with your partner, and the next person you want to call is your parent, and you know their attitude, that they are not objective. So why are you telling them? Why are you telling them? But there are some parents, the moment you call them, they will offer you good advice, they will pray for you, they will not interfere, they will even give you steps to take. But if you notice that your parent is not the type, then limit the information you pass across to them and limit the physical contact. That is what I would say about that. Or you report them to somebody they respect that can mediate between the two of you. But your parents are your parents. You cannot limit your physical contact forever. So that was why I said, if that parent is sensitive and discover that this child that normally sees me 3 or 4 times in a month, he or she has reduced it to just one time thing, you should ask questions. As a parent, ask questions. So you have opened the line of communication. The child will be able to tell the parent, this is the way I feel when you interfere, when you dominate, when you control, or when you insult my partner, or when you insult my husband or my wife. There are some parents, that is just what they are there to do. So there should be, most importantly, me, I
Before
so
we
much
round
believe in
off, because of
conversation,
our time,
communication. Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask
So it
this
boils down
before
to
we round up
communication.
because of our time. A situation where you have newly wedded couple,
Okay.
maybe they are 5 years. Yeah, that's why I'm still saying newly wedded. 5 years or 3 years. How can they maintain? How can they present a united front when they have realized or noticed they have domineering parents, just like you suggested, or in-laws?
Okay. I will advise the newly wedded couple, to speak with one voice. Is very important. They should speak with one voice, either the man or the wife, depending on whose side it is coming from. The woman should not be confrontational with the in-laws. Likewise, the man, speak with one voice. Don't always do things behind each other's back. Be united. Let them see that you are united. Don't pretend about it. You know, don't give your parents something behind your partner. Do it together. Even if it's the other person that is giving it, give them together. Then when they are having a conversation, maybe the husband's people, they are around, some people will tell the wife, excuse me. The man should speak up for the wife from the beginning. He should defend her. That is the man's responsibility. That she's my wife. The two of us, we are one. Because if you ask her to leave, I will still tell her whatever thing we discuss. So let them see that you are together from the beginning, which is very important. Let them see that you are together from the beginning. Don't do things behind each other's back. Tell each other anything and everything. And don't insult your in-laws. What I mean is, the man should be able to defend the wife in the presence of his people. Likewise, the wife should be able to defend the man in the presence of his people. Don't expose each other's weakness. Don't talk about your weakness to your in-laws. That is a no-no for me. Don't talk about your husband to your people as a woman. Then as a man too, don't talk down on your wife.
Much, Pastor Mrs. Bolanle Oba. She is a marriage counselor, an author, a mother, a grandmother, and a wife. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm sure we have had a wonderful time. You cannot beat this, I tell you. Some children do have them. Some family do have them, and it becomes something they so much carry in their hearts. It becomes too weighty. Sometimes they must have reported to their uncle that they believe their mom or their dad can talk to, or talk to someone who is spiritual father or religious person who they believe their parents are my afa. When the afa speak to, I know she will, but they could not make it. And this has dragged or pushed many children out of the home circle into the hands of wicked people out there. People who will disengage them and take them in the wrong direction because they have domineering parents. Parents who do not want them, who feel insecure, and who is clamoring for the need, for authority, for need for control. We need to try to work on our insecurity. The moment you start bringing children, before we start bringing children into this world, that's one of the first few things we need to work on. And by the time the children start coming, the upbringing goes a long way. The training, how you are bringing them, raising them up, it helps. Because with insecurity, you cannot even see the good vision of what is ahead of you with that child that God has placed in your hands. So it is high time our parents, as much as we love them, as much that as the parents, you love your children, and your children will also want to reciprocate your love, you need to give them, you know, the altar of doubt, that you're not doubting them in any way. And you believe you have inculcated something good. You have planted a seed in their hearts while they were growing up on how to walk well. Except if they now change, into something you never trained them to be. That's the only way that you are free and you are not domineering. But domineering parents will always clamor for control. They want to be taking total charge. And you heard them, Pastor Mrs. Bola Leoba, don't divulge everything. Don't divulge everything to your parents. If you know they are the domineering one, that will always push you to the extent that you will lose control and you will not be able to get things right. A big shout out to everyone who is celebrating today, third day in the month of December 2025. Wish you the very best. I will pray that God will continue to be your strength and lead you on, and your new age is beautifully blessed. And to everyone having one anniversary or the other, we celebrate with you and we wish you well. Pray your union will continue to blossom and continue to grow. New wine in your home. Okay? So, this is where we come to the end of today's episode of Family and Values. Tomorrow is going to be another wonderful day. Big shout out once again to Pastor Mrs. Bolanle Obashi. She's a marriage counselor and an author. Tomorrow we're looking at handling kids with physio. Handling kids with physiotherapists, children who have to go through all this process, okay? Like cerebral palsy and all that. We'll be looking at how do we handle them? How do we care for them? What do we have to do if we have them, with us? Why has God given them to you? At what that time you got that child, and what you have to do. These and many more is what we're discussing on our Health Talk tomorrow on Family and Values. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has made today's show a great success. If you're tuning in from wherever, we love you. We appreciate the fact that you could join us. You can always follow us on Galaxy Television, on Facebook, and YouTube channel. Okay, you can catch up, send your comments. Let's get your contributions. If you have questions to ask, you can always be part of that page. Just write your comment or look out for a number and send us information. I will surely will get back to you. My name is remain Olori Adubi David. My friends call me Olori AJ. On behalf of everyone who has made today's show a great success, a big shout out to the president of Galaxy Television on Chief Steve Ojo, and to our ASM Taslim Balogo, and head of programs Adewale Femi. It's a big, have a big, wonderful day ahead of you. Thank you. Bye for now.